MVD Visual brings to Blu-ray the 2021 comedic thriller, I don't know if I would call it horror, comedy, Punto Rojo, directed by Nick Loreti and with Mariana Anghileri and Damian Salomon. Probably mangle those names. This is in Spanish with English subtitles. This, I believe, is an Argentinian film. One of our two leads was featured in the film, is it Where Evil Lurks, When Evil Lurks, whichever it's called. It was one of the coolest, most disturbing horror films I'd seen in a while from last year. Presented in Spanish with English subtitles, 5.1 DTS HD surround and 2.0 stereo LPCM, whatever that means. I just use the TV speakers. This is the story of a guy, not going to tell you the whole story. Film opens with a guy, kind of scruffy guy, kind of dirty looking guy, kind of criminal, kind of edgy, edge of society looking guy, sitting in a beat up car in the middle of nowhere, and he's calling in to some radio call-in show that's going to award a big prize for people who know about their football teams. And he's an expert on this football team. So while doing that, from out of nowhere, come crashing from the sky, a soldier crash lands, presumably dead, into the windshield of this guy's car, and things get interesting. I'm not going to tell you the whole story. From that moment, he's trying to figure out what's going on. We find out that there is a man locked in the trunk of this car, all tied up for some reason. And then out of this is near like a lake, around the corner between an outcropping of rocks comes a female soldier with a gun. And there's a whole lot of yelling and a whole lot of figuring out who's who and what's what. And do you have the package? And what is the package? And what is going on here? The film explains it all. It is very quirky and interesting. It's a very non-linear film. Feels very Quentin Tarantino, very Robert Rodriguez in its visual style and its sensibility. Very dark, violent at times, and it's amusingly, progressively more and more violence on certain characters as it goes along. I don't want to give too much away because it is a quirky, fun little flick. So it's like a crime thriller, and as the film goes on, we jump back and forth in time to the present, to the past for each of these characters. That fills in the puzzle pieces a little bit as to who these people are and how they're all connected and what the overall plot of this movie is. It's fun. It's not very long. This is 72 minutes, an hour, 12 minutes. It's breezy, really well shot. Well executed, as it were, and it's fun. This would be like a good festival film. This is a good Friday night movie. This would be a good midnight movie. It's not like so wildly memorable or dynamic that I feel like it's going to have a gigantic cult following, but it's good. And if you like this new wave, apparently, of Argentinian horror films that are coming out, again, not really a horror film. Think more Tarantino than horror. This is one worth checking out. So the bonus stuff we have a director's commentary that is in English. We have a short film called Pinball that's 13 minutes. It is basically this feature film that we're talking about, Punto Rojo, is an expansion of this Pinball short film. Interestingly, our main character in Punto Rojo is in this short film, but he plays sort of the opposite character that he does in the scene in Punto Rojo that this short film basically is, if that makes any sense at all. So it's interesting to basically see an earlier take on a scene from Punto Rojo with one of the same actors in it, but not in the role that you just saw him in the feature. The trailers, we have the Punto Rojo trailer, Cutting Class, Vampire's Kiss, Swamp Thing, and Vile, all available from MVD. And I thought this movie was fun, you know? It's a gritty, sweaty, crime, edgy, funny thriller with violencia. Probably not even a word. I'm told it's not a word, but I use it that way anyway. It's like if you beat somebody really heavily with a violin and you speak with an accent. Punto Rojo.